Hello everyone, this is T.H. Leatherman and
Ashton.
today we're going to go over what it takes to make a good D&D campaign. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to hook the party. This is also sometimes known as fishing for players. Because you know what hit points are, they're the life of the party.
The tavern. Where do your players start? Do they start in the tavern and meet everyone else in the tavern, or would they meet like in a store?
Taverns are kind of popular, but they're not the only place that your party can meet each other. Another good hook is the ancient prophecy. Now the thing about ancient prophecies is you can't be too direct. You have to be kind of circumspect. Have it look like it means one thing, but it actually means something else. In one of my favorite stories, Shadow Magic, Connor goes through the entire book thinking that he is the son of the one-handed prince when it's actually someone else entirely. Another good trick to get the party interested is to have a relative or friend of the party be kidnapped. Then get the whole party together to go find the kidnappers and recover the person.
Artifacts. Artifacts are great for hooking a party because they would always be interested in magic items. Can be rumored to be in ruins, dungeons, or keeps.
Another really fun one is talking animals. In a lot of my adventures, there is a small talking cat named FIFA that tells the party what's going on and where they're likely to find the next part of the adventure. The next thing you need to have is NPCs. NPCs are the people that inhabit the world that you create. So you need to have a few people set aside that the party is going to meet. Wizards and warriors. Perhaps you might have a bunch of druids that are teaching bears to use swords. You know, helping them use their right to arm bears.
Next part is the story. It's what your players go through when they're playing. Is it a good story where they're helping everyone, or an evil story?
Now, stories are generally done in stages. I'm a big fan of having 3 stages. So there needs to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. Now, in each one of these stages, there should be hints that help the party get from one place to the next.
3 plot points, or the quest. One plot point is mystery, like a missing person or a missing artifact, or a threat to a kingdom.
Another thing that's good is building tension through opposition. There might be some tension between characters inside the party, or maybe tension between the party and someone outside the party that is causing problems for them.
Are there visible or invisible villains? Do they know who the villains are, or do they not know and need to try and figure that out?
It's always fun to have invisible villains, things that the party thinks there's someone out there working against them, and there probably is, but they have no idea who it is. Another thing that's really fun to throw into your party is that they start off working on the wrong side. So they might be working for the villain and yet not know it.
Failure. The villain gets away. What are the consequences of the villain getting away, or is he supposed to? Does it make his feelings toward them even more sour and want them to be dead more?
Another good thing to throw into your story is a good plot twist. So if your party is going after to rescue the princess from the dragon, perhaps when they get there, the princess is perfectly happy being with the dragon. And really it's the parents who sent them to retrieve the daughter that are the bad guys. They're trying to break up a perfectly happy couple. One of the things that new DMs do is they throw these clues out at the party and don't make the party work for it. One of the things that's really good to do as the DM, the storyteller, is to have the clues, but maybe let the party figure out how they're going to go find those clues. Maybe they start in a temple somewhere and find a clue there. Or maybe they're going around in the market and they run across a clue there. Perhaps they're finding the clue in the library. Why would they be in the library? Give them a reason to be there and then throw the clue out at them. Perhaps there's a low-dex wizard, and he's cantripping over the clues.
Railroading. A DM should never railroad the party. It just makes your players not really want to play. Instead, you should hint strongly at what they should do, and they make the story themselves. History and religion is a great way to give clues, because weapon if a god got angry with another god and it started a war, and that's something they need to find out. Or religion, another way to figure out history.
So history and religion are very good for leading your party into things that they need to find out. The fourth thing that the DM needs to have ready to go is maps.
The road is very important. What does your road look like? Are they near the sea, or are they right in the middle, and in like plains?
Also, it's good to have a few towns ready to go. You know, NPCs, taverns, places where the party can get supplies and run into clues that help them along in the adventure. Having a map of a city or two is a good thing. The whole world shouldn't be a jungle or a desert. There should be a variation of terrains that the parties can work through.
What races live in what areas? Like, wood elves would probably live in forests. Elves maybe in forests or plains. Humans living about anywhere they can. Dwarves living in the mountains.
Have a mountaintop guarded by rogues. You know, a sneak peek.
You should have dungeons, ruins, and keeps. A place where your adventurers can get treasure, but also have to fight for it. They might also find clues in wherever they get treasure to advance the story.
Some useful resources you can use to inhabit these ruins and dungeons is page 82 of the Dungeon Master's Guide. There is a way that you can actually calculate how many players you have and what level they are, and how much XP of monsters you should be throwing at them at a time. This goes well with page 306 in the Dungeon Master's Guide, which gives you a bunch of challenge rating monsters by level and experience points. Sometimes the story needs a certain type of monster in it, but the monster might be too tough or maybe too wimpy for what the character's level are. Not a problem. You can make weaker monsters more dangerous. Perhaps you have kobolds that explode when you hit them. Or maybe you need a lich, and a lich is going to be a little too tough for where the characters are right now. No problem. Nerf them down. Take away some hit points and abilities. Make it a good challenge for them, but not necessarily deadly at first sight. You might have a dragon that just doesn't like paladins because they taste lawful.
Bandits. Humans are against the party. These could be warriors, wizards, and druids.
Have a basic template of an NPC at a certain level so that you can throw multiples of that at the party. Another good thing for the Dungeon Master to have is miniatures. Now, you may not have a miniature for every member of the party, and you may not have a miniature for every monster that they encounter. A fun thing to do is to use clip art and then draw circles around it using a quarter and then cut it out. This makes a piece that looks like a monster or a character. It's about the same size as the square on your map.
Treasure. A great way to keep your players want to keep playing and help them through the adventure. Page 136 of the Dungeon Master's Guide has a bunch of treasure tables you can use to give treasure to your party. Humanoids have coins and gems with them, so when the party fights humanoids, there should probably be some money on them. There should always be one or two treasure rooms in a dungeon or ruins to give the party some extra treasure. Fighting magic items in cities. How rare are they? And would their rarity make them cost more?
The fifth and last thing that a Dungeon Master needs to keep in mind is what's the makeup of the party?
Appropriateness. If there's no rogues, you probably should not throw traps at them, because there's no rogue to protect them from traps. A good party has a tank, which is usually a paladin, fighter, or ranger, damage, any magic user, so sorcerer, warlock, or wizard, and a healer, a cleric.
Or possibly a druid. You gathered the players together, and the DM figures out that there's a critical piece missing. It is okay for the Dungeon Master to play a non-player character as a party member, thereby filling that critical role that the party is going to need. So in summary, that's 1, the hook. What's going to get the party interested in the adventure?
2, NPCs, who's in the world that you created.
3, story. Putting together all the plot points and clues that are going to keep your party interested in moving through the adventure.
4, the maps. Where are your adventurers adventuring through? And what does your world look like?
And 5, putting the party together and filling in those critical roles. So I'm T.H. Leatherman.
And I'm Ashton.
And until next time, have fun!